All the pressure going into this fight with Shakur and Teofimo Lopez is on Shakur Stevenson. Fans already know what they're getting when they're watching the Shakur Stevenson fight. And this fight is a perfect opportunity for him to change not only the sentiment of fans, but to give him that boost that he needs, that he can not only perform at a high level, but he can be strong and dangerous at a high level. I don't want to see him box Teofimo Lopez nose off. Teofimo just chasing him. Shakur just catching and shooting. Now the fight over. I want to see some excitement. I don't want to just see Shakur Stevenson win a UD. Unless, he wins a unanimous decision, dropping Teofimo Lopez a couple times. Unless he stop a guy like Teofimo Lopez. But his performance in this fight, is going to be a great gauge, on his future performances against guys at a top level, right? Him and Teofimo Lopez, right now, Shakur Stevenson, from what I can see, is the taller, longer fighter. And that always works best for boxers when they have that type of advantage. And I'm saying, since he's knowing he's going in there with the advantage, he's the better boxer. He's going to come in there with more height. He's going to come in there with more reach. I want to see that not only be used to just box this guy's nose off, I want to see that be used to ultimately hurt this guy, stop this guy, and get this guy out of there. Anything short of that will be disappointment. And Shakur Stevenson often says in his interviews, I just want to win now, look good later. This is the fight where you want to look good then and you want to win then, right? Because this is the perfect opportunity to change the way that fans feel about you, especially when you're looking for long-term support in the sport of boxing. That's how guys overseas continue to sell, even though they might have 1, 2, 3, 4, or even more losses. What they do is they go out there, put it all on the line, and, they seek to please the fans. And then when they're on the decline, fans remember all the great things that those fighters did for them, and then they want to pop out and support. But for me personally, I just don't want to see Shakur Stevenson go in there and put on a masterclass against Teofimo Lopez. No. Especially not when George Kambosos had dropped him and beat him up in that fight. George Kambosos compared to Shakur Stevenson, that's like Fubu versus Timberland, right? That's like a Corvette. That's like a Corvette versus a Jeep Cherokee. Shakur Stevenson has all the goods. He has all the attributes to go in there and not only hurt Teofimo, but get Teofimo Lopez out of there. And I hope that in this training camp, he's working on that, because we all know he's precise. We all know he's accurate. We all know he has what it takes. He got the IQ. He know how to control the ring. He know how to fight coming forward and fight stepping back. But can he fight this fight as the aggressor for 12 rounds? And like I said before, we all know what Shakur Stevenson brings to each and every one of these fights. The question is he going to bring something different this fight? You're the main event. We don't want to just watch you box a guy 12 rounds. You beat a guy 10-2, and we get no excitement. We want to see you put yourself out there. We want to see you throw a lot more combinations. We want to see you fight on the inside and fight on the outside. We want to see you stalking a guy, cutting the ring off. We don't just want to see you in the pocket catching and shooting, and we don't want to see that. And unfortunately for Shakur Stevenson, he's fighting like Floyd Mayweather at the tail end of his career. When Floyd's hands was already messed up. When Floyd was Shakur age, he was hurting guys, stopping guys.